Well, I just saw it, and I think Stephen King is bona fide creeper. Steve King, what is wrong with you? Yuck. You are a creeper, dude. Did you see him in that scene? In the Peddler's Mall where he works, creeping over there behind the counter, waiting for the little boys to come buy their bicycles. It Part 2. Yes, so I saw It Part 2, and much like It 1, which came out right at the time of the Weinstein stuff. If you remember, I did a video on this a couple years ago when It 1, Chapter 1 came out, and we covered the Weinstein debacle. And I tied it into the situation with what was going on in terms of Hollywood creepers. And It Part 1 had a lot of Hollywood creeperness in it, if you remember, right? This was the plot revolving around the girl and her situation. I won't go into that in detail. I'm sure you know if you've seen the film. But once again, we have the alien mythos present in the film. The demon here is a 3-starred deadlights, they call it, right? To me, it looks like an inversion of the Trinity. That's what because they chant. If you remember the scene where they chant something gay, like, let the light become the darkness, let the light become the darkness. Why would you chant let the light become darkness? So I think it's a kind of a Gnostic tale, and Stephen King has a tendency to do this, right? If you've seen or read his other books, he includes a lot of esoteric and Gnostic elements, especially with like the Gunslinger series. If you remember, Roland begins the series by, early on in the novel, he trips balls. Like there's a crazy ass acid trip. I think it's Roland that trips, if you recall. But regardless, there's definitely an esoteric and kind of occultic and demonic element to Stephen King works. Shocker, right? We know this in The Stand as well, right? With the Flag character. The Flag character is sort of the Antichrist, whatnot. But what's interesting here is that King is essentially telling us that the real God, in the view of all the esotericists and the occultists, is a kind of fallen demiurge, right? They believe that the God of the Bible is the fallen God. Clowns are fake and gay; they're not real, and so he has to be banished by darkness, into darkness, banished by the light, etc., the light of Lucifer. And so, It Chapter 2 is basically identifying the clown god, this clown fallen alien entity. It's a fallen star. This is another theme that we've seen in all these alien movies. If you watched my Alien Demon Overlords video, we covered this, how it's always something falling from the sky, a meteor or whatever, and that constitutes the fallen god. It constitutes essentially how they view the biblical God. So in this series, we have the same idea with this alien entity being this clown god. And how do they beat it? By making fun of it, by shouting it down. Like the social justice warrior attack on God. Make fun of him, shout him down, scream at his face. You suck, you're lame, you're weak, you're gay. Well, you can't say that, right? Yeah, that's how they beat the deity. Oh, and by the way, don't forget the ayahuasca trip. You actually have to take the ayahuasca trip in order to know how to beat the the deity. And you're supposed to catch him inside like a Ghostbusters ghost trap, right? That doesn't work because he pops out of there. That's a big balloon. And so it's not a magical ritual ghost trap that you catch it with. You catch him by making fun of him. And if that's the biblical deity, then I think that's kind of what he's saying, right? Like the way that we really defeat the biblical God, the creator God, this fallen, rapacious God, as the Gnostics see him, is by mocking and making fun of, and then that belittles this deity because he's the destroyer of worlds. I'm the destroyer of worlds. And he's like, he's got. Why? Oh, I'm the destroyer of worlds. That's my impersonation. Why? Don't you want to be with me, the destroyer of worlds? Wow. I just synced it. An Indian ritual with an Indian papoose. With a, all you gotta do is put the demiurge in an old ass leather bag, an old ass Indian. All you gotta do is put the demiurge in an old ass Indian leather bag, a ghost trap. But that doesn't work. Stephen King is an esotericist. Stephen King is crazy and gross, dude. What the heck? So the point being, all Hollywood can ever do is tell the Gnostic tale. Have you noticed this? I've seen hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of movies in my life. Why is it that they only tell the Gnostic tale of the evil creator God, the unknowable, far off, unknown God, and then everybody else's job is to break free from the Matrix? That's the Matrix plot, Plato's allegory of the cave. The Gnostic tale. That's the only tale that they can tell. And even some directors have talked about this, like the director of Hardware, that 80s sci-fi AI movie. He said that all of Hollywood is basically telling the Gnostic tale. If you watched Hollywood Decoded, we covered this in many, many films. Hollywood teaching the Gnostic gospel, if you will. All the way up to Maniac, right? Emma Stone, Jonah Hill. Jonah Hill's character was citing the Gnostic Gospels. Why is that? Well, the reason for that is because people can't figure out how to place good and evil within their worldviews without essentially locating evil in some way with the world itself. This is true of dualistic systems. This is true of monistic systems. Pantheistic systems, it doesn't matter. Ultimately, evil and good are correlative forces. They're just flip sides of the same coin. And evil is given typically some kind of substantial existence. In this case, a clown alien. Honk, honk. Clown world, honk, honk. Honk, honk. Through the storm, we reached the shore. You gave it all, but I want more. I'll wait for you. With or without you. With or without you, I can't live. With or without you. I'm singing BONO because I was trying to make my It video, and BONO just made me feel so much better because I just got called out for being an Illuminati. Oh, this YouTuber has called me out for being in the Illuminati. And his proof is that I got a Bentley. I got that Bentley because I sold my soul, and he went to my Instagram and found that picture of that Bentley. Oh my goodness. Oh, Lucifer. I sold my soul. I done messed up, y'all. And I'm going to leave a link to the video below where he exposed me. And what had happened was he called me out because St. Cyril was a 4th, 5th century church father. He was a Freemason. The Freemason church fathers. A millennium before the Freemasons, there was a church fathers that were Masons. And because of a checkerboard and because of this, if I ever done this in a video, and I got, this is my confession, y'all. I done got called out, and I got to sing. I got to sing more BONO to feel better about myself, to get my self-esteem back up. With or without you. I'm done for y'all. I got to quit.
I'm exposed, even though I'm out here arguing with all the atheists, converting people, defending Genesis, defending against the evolutionists. I'm still in the Illuminati. I'm a shell from Illuminati.
If you like this analysis, be sure to click subscribe and give me a thumbs up down below. Also, be sure to check out Jay's analysis and definitely click the bell down below to be sure you get the update.